Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with life. Today, we are going to be meal prepping some more pork tenderloin. We got some new options for you. I'm also going to be doing different sorts of potatoes to go with it. I found out that even though I am working on reducing my carbs, potatoes actually don't do that much as they use as I thought they did. We'll also be doing some vegetables for you and a dessert. And so, all in all, we've got quite a few options. And as you know, I like to do it on the fly a lot so that you can, work with me and decide what it is that you would like to see me put in with things, because that makes it very special for me. As I'm eating stuff during the week, I go, oh, that was a really nice combination. I like that. So here we go. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to get the pork out of the fridge just so you can see the size for those people who don't know what tenderloin looks like. So let me just get that. Oh, before I do, I wanted to show you what I've got on the floor here. Can I show you? Yes, you see this mat? Just be aware of what's going to happen here. When I stand on it, now you're wondering, why did I need that? Well, quite honestly, because I want to make sure I know when those Amazon people come to my door, because they don't knock and they don't ring the doorbell. So what I'm going to do is to put this under the mat that is at the front area. So as they walk over it, I will know somebody has walked onto my deck. I may be going, that's smart, Sal. I just got fed up with not knowing whether there was a parcel perhaps sitting in full view of everybody. And especially as we're getting to winter where the lights come on and highlight stuff. I thought, no, I don't want that to happen. Yeah, that's way cool, Isabel, isn't it? I just want to tell you something. I haven't got it out there yet, but I will let you know how well it works. So I'm just going to put that to the side for now so I don't keep doing that. And then I will show people again a bit later on. All right, let me get the meat. And I'd be really interested. I'm not sure what the price is in different places. Could you check in your part of Canada? By the way, Isabel and I are both from Canada. How much are you paying for a prepackaged pork tenderloin? Normally, it comes in two pieces. Let me see if I can make this back into two pieces for you, so you can see. It comes into two pieces like this. All right, and I really like pork tenderloin because I find it's a really good quality meat and also very tender if you cook it the correct way, and you can do so much with it. And that's why I prefer it to pork chops or a pork roast, because you can do all of those things, but with a really nice cut of meat. I today thought we would do, um, let me think, what did I think we were going to do today? We're going to do pork tenderloin in blueberry orange. We're going to do perhaps a sweet and sour, depending on how you guys feel about it. Thought maybe a pork and beans would be a nice idea, and some kebabs. And that gives us a nice variety. I'm also going to be doing a quick apple bake, so that's good. And that's about it. So I'm going to keep one piece out, and I'm going to take the largest piece, which is this one. Okay, and I'm going to put the rest back in the freezer and the fridge. Now, just so you know, I paid $16.50 approximately, if I round it up, for this. All right, in Canada. So I'd be interested to know when some of our American viewers come on. I will check with them and ask them just to check what that would cost in American these days. But I don't know if you found this, but I'm already finding that meat is getting more difficult to buy. And Jody was saying the same thing. For those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin. Now, what I'm going to do with this first piece, I'm going to sort of turn this around a bit. Not a lot of stuff on here. Could be disastrous any minute now. I'm going to move some things off, but I am going to start with this one. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to move the rest of this away till we need them. That's dessert. More potatoes. Okay, it gives us a bit more room. Because the first thing I want to do is, I think a lot of you know, I like to cook when I'm doing pre-prepping. I like to cook in my Big Boss. It's a halogen oven, which basically, if you don't know what it is, a halogen oven has halogen light in it, and it also has convection, so it's awesome. So what I'm going to do is multitask because, you know, I hate to work hard. All right, so Isabel is saying, I love this meat too. I often do a la bordelaise. That's with red wine and mushroom and bacon. Yes, absolutely. What a great idea. Could I do that today? I could do it. I could do it. You know something? I could do a version of that just by adding some. I don't have red wine at the moment, but I have balsamic vinegar, which is a reduction, if you like, of red wine. So that's a possibility. But before I start, what I'm going to do is just that, you know, I've got some bread dough here. So because I like to multitask, I'm going to just get out my bread dough quickly. And by the way, I sort of mix my dough up and put it in a plastic bag because it comes out of plastic really easily. And for those of you, oh, by the way, I actually put my plastic bags in my dishwasher. And tonight, when I load up the dishwasher, I will turn that bag inside out and put it into the dishwasher to get clean. All right, so here is my bread dough. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to, I think I'll make 2 bread rolls for this week. No, go with the plan. I never know what I'm going to do. Okay, so make some big scores in there so it's got room to expand. And then I'm going to put it in this little Dutch oven that I got while, by the way, for those of you who remember, it was 1 year yesterday that I had the house fire. I'm thinking when that rises, it's going to push that up. So maybe I will do 2 smaller ones so they don't rise as much. Okay, plan B. By the way, if you don't like kneading bread, I really recommend doing this to it. I seem to remember that from play school. But it's a great way to knead bread. And then when you're ready, I bend it onto itself like this a few times. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you, Sharon. Great to hear your news. I'm so glad that they didn't find anything that you didn't know about when you had your test done. So that is awesome. All right, so here I am, my way of kneading my bread. By the way, it was partially kneaded before I put it into the fridge. So this is really just a last minute thing. So there we go. One's a little bit bigger than the other, but nobody's going to care about that. So again, I'm just going to do one score across them like that. And there they are. Yeah, Sharon's saying I'm so blessed. I quite agree. I'm going to have it cook in here because then that'll keep the steam in, which will be awesome. But first I'm going to warm up the oven. And I'm just going to put it at a pretty average heat because I'm going to be cooking various things in there. I'm just going to use 350. Excuse me. Because we're going to be doing all sorts of different things. So the bread is in there. And then because I really like roast potatoes, I'm going to do the roast potatoes on top here. Multitask. All right, so I've got potato here. And I like to keep the skin on because I find, I like the extra fiber in my food. So maybe I can do them all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab some oil, just some regular olive oil, put that over the top like that. Put some black pepper. You never have too much black pepper, in my view. And then just going to shake it all up. Exercise. So that's all nicely mixed up, and I'm going to put these on top. There we go. That'll be perfect. Now, I'm going to take all of that like that and let it start cooking. And I'm pretty sure that the bread will take at least an hour, but we will actually put a probe in it to make sure. Yes, I've still got the halogen oven. Ah, interesting. Sharon's saying she actually makes pork Wellington. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is taking a piece of meat and wrapping it in pastry. So that is wonderful. Yeah. All right. I like to use the halogen when we're doing these experiments so you can see how quickly it's possible to cook a full meal without using a full oven. That's always my thing. Why would I fire up the big oven and waste all that electricity when I can do it all with my halogen? All right. So now then, we're going to do some of the pork. And what I'm going to do is do it in this cloche. You remember, this is actually a smaller one than the one I had originally, which turns out to be quite useful. So I'm going to put it in the cloche. And what I like about cooking in the cloche is it sort of cooks everything really easily without a whole lot of fuss. And I thought we might do, let's think. Well, obviously we're going to need pepper. And we're going to, I think what I'm going to do here, oh, I know. Remember we made that jelly the other day? So this was the blueberry jelly. Do you remember we made that? So I was thinking, what a great thing to add to this, all right? So I'm going to cover that. Oh, so that's blueberries. And I've also, I'm really going to enjoy this. I've also got some dried blueberries, and I found that buying dried blueberries is a really good thing for me because I don't use them very often, and they're not taking up freezer space. I just will add some in here, and the steam will help bring them back to life. I've also got some onion, so I'm going to throw that in. Should be enough. But, oh no, wait a minute. Why skimp on that? I love onion. Okay, that works. So I think, quite honestly, that's probably enough just as it is. So I'm just going to close it up. I don't think it needs a whole lot more. Any herbs that you would like to see me throw in there? Yeah, chicken goes really well. I'll do chicken again next week because I noticed that I've got some chicken that is due to be used. What herbs would you like to, or spices would you like to see me throw in with this? Anything in particular? Give me some inspiration here. Actually, you know something? I'd like to throw in a little bit of soy sauce. Okay, that works. And no suggestions? Okay, I think I'm going to get some mixed herbs then and throw those in. By the way, I was cleaning out my spice cupboard this week, my spice drawer, and I had a lot of sort of little bits of different spices, so I just put them all into one and called it mixed herbs. Throw some of that in there. That'll be good. Let's put some balsamic vinegar in there. Okay, that's good. Not too much. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are new to the broadcast, we don't measure on these broadcasts. We just hack things in and enjoy the experiment. All right, so that's all done. And what I'm going to do, balance that there. Whoops. I need another layer. Thought I left that out. But I guess not. Hold on one second. So I'm going to put another layer in here. So we've got bread at the bottom, then the roast potatoes, like that. And now I'm going to put, that is the blueberry. And we're going to put this extender ring here. All right. While we work on the next thing. Now then, what have we got? Soy sauce works with everything. I agree. Absolutely agree with that. I am. I'm thinking some roast vegetables would be a good idea. Or shall we do some? Why don't we do some in a mason jar? So the first thing I've got is live chives growing. By the way, they've grown that much in 2 days. I cut them off like this. I'll show you what I do. I just literally hold them like this and I cut them. And that's how much grew in just 2 days. Isn't that amazing? So we'll put some onion in. And I'm just going to cut those up a little bit. Okay, we'll probably put those in last. I've got some cabbage, which would be a good idea to use. This cabbage has lasted me a month. If you're trying to save money, cabbage stays really well in the fridge. I really recommend it. So I'm going to put some cabbage in. And all I do is I just keep cutting the next layers off like this. Okay, so I'm going to cut the cabbage up into smaller pieces. And I like nutmeg over my cabbage. Okay, that's good. We've got some nutmeg. All right, Isa saying mustard, thyme, steak spices. I've got the steak spices. Where are we going to put those? In there. We'll do it on the next one, Isa, because I'm going to do another one. All right, so then in here, I'm also going to do some orange pepper, because we're looking for colors. Remember, the more colors we have, the healthier it is for us. So we got the pale green, we've got the peppers. Let's do some carrot. Okay, that's looking pretty colorful. And how about some zucchini just to give us the green? And then we'll throw these chives on top. And what I do is I just put the lid part on top. Hang on, I got more chives. They were sneaky. They tried to escape me. Don't like that. So there we have got this is probably a cup and a half, but by the time it's all cooked, it'll be about a cup of vegetables. Behave yourself. All right, so here we go. I'm going to lift this again. There we go. So there's the vegetables cooking very nicely. And let's see what we will do next. I won't necessarily cook it all at the same time, but what I'd like to do is just discuss some of the options. I think for the second one, what I'm going to do, and I will cook it later this evening unless this all cooks in very quickly. What I thought for the second one, and I'm going to take the second biggest piece. By the way, you will notice I'm not using plastic wrap. When I want to use plastic wrap, I use 2 large plastic bags. And then after I finish, they will be turned inside out and go through my dishwasher. Reuse, reuse. Buy good quality plastic bags. I buy the freezer quality because they're the thick ones and they last me almost forever. What I thought would be interesting here is to maybe roll it. I've got some of this peanut butter powder, and I was thinking that would actually be quite nice, you know, just to roll it in peanut butter powder. But what I'd like to do is to actually make medallions. That's like little pieces. Okay, let me get this onto the board so I won't be scared to cut it. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is just coat the sides with this peanut butter powder. Nice and easy. And let me just wash my hands here. And get another. All right, so what I'm going to do, and I will cook this as soon as I've got room, is let's use some of that Montreal steak spice that I love so much. We'll just huck that over the top. Dab that a bit more. And I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to actually scrape this up and use it as gravy when I make that. But I was thinking, you know, what if we did some grilled asparagus with that? Don't you think that would be nice? Haven't done that for a while. And by the way, pork does not take that long to cook, which is why I've got the bread at the bottom with the roast potatoes at the bottom. I think they will take the longest. So I'm going to take some of these asparagus spears and just put that in here. With that, I think that'll make a nice complement. Yeah, you know something, let's cook it all together so that it's cooked. And I will add this to salads and things during the week. Now, you're wondering, what am I going to do with this half? I'm not going to waste it. What I will do is I will cut it again, like this. and bag it. And so when I'm making sauces or when I'm making shepherd's pie or something, I will just grab some and add it to that. Or I'll just cook them up on their own. But what I'm going to do is just take all of that and just put it into my freezer. Because I don't think I will eat more than that this week. So there we go. It's going to go straight in the freezer as it is. Pretty simple. And you're about to see the second reason why I love my halogen. Oh, I found where I put those things I thought I'd lost. Those extenders were right here. I've got a second one of these. So we're going to put this top. No, we're not. We're going to put it the other way. Put it this way. It should fit. An extender, which I put away. Hold on 1 second. Wrong one. I'm just going to balance this on top. All right, 1 second. I'm going to move the cloth a little bit. Hold on, people. I made a boo-boo here. Oops. I undid the cloth by accident, so let's do that up again. There we go. All right, and now I can move it slightly. I'm going to put the oh, it's like a Jenga puzzle. Put this on top. Lift this. Put the extender on. There we go. And then I'm going to take this silicone, put that on top of that. Okay, so there we go. Big Jenga puzzle. But what I want you to see is I've got it all stacked up. Now, the first thing to cook will be the asparagus, I would think, which is why I've done it in that order. And I would think the asparagus will take us about I think about 20 minutes. All right, so let's do this for 20 minutes because then I can carry on with another part of the broadcast. Might be less, I don't think so. All right, so remember, if you're trying to save money, Savoy cabbage, a really good idea if there are one or two of you. It should last quite a while. I find that zucchini lasts quite a while, doesn't go off, which is good saving. Obviously, carrot lasts a long time. So let's put the carrot away. And what I do is I have my peppers fresh for the first, normally they last fresh quite well for about a week. And then if I've got any left over, I will cut it up and freeze it so that I can add it to stews and stuff like that. So which is, I find it's a great saving. The other thing I find, if you have got peppers, and 1 second, let me just get something here. I find if you've got like a laughing cow container, either the lid or the bottom, it's a perfect container because it absorbs any of the liquids that come out of the pepper and keeps it fresh. I'm quite surprised how long it will stay fresh, just like this. So that's another great cost-cutting thing. All right, I'm going to just quickly wipe down this board so that we can carry on with the rest of the broadcast while dinner gets cooked. Okay. Now, some of you have seen me do this before, but what I thought I would do is just do a quick, very basic apple crumble type thing. So, because I've got too many apples in my fridge at the moment, so I'm going to take I've got 1 apple, and I'm just going to get my knife. I'm just going to cut that up very simply. This is for my dessert tonight. I have dessert every night, and I still manage to keep my blood sugar pretty much under control. It's about what I have as opposed to the fact that I actually have dessert. But I grew up eating desserts and I love them. So I'm going to put some apple in the bottom. Actually, you know something? I think I'm going to make something else. I think what I'm going to do okay, so all I've done is divide them roughly between the 2 ramekins, and then I'm going to add some sultanas or raisins, whatever you have, to it. I should quality control those to make sure they're okay. I'm hungry, you can tell. Now then, I thought that maybe what I would do is I'm just going to let these pre-cook. I'm going to put them in the microwave for a couple of minutes just to cook the apple. And that will upset Jody because I can reach my microwave easily. And now I'm going to do my famous cheat, which is to take out some, I've got some devil food cake mix here. Okay. So all I'm going to do is my usual trick, which is I'm going to fill up about half the ramekin with the devil's food cake. Yum, 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 yum. And I'm going to grab one egg. And I love doing that. Pray this works for me, right? Oh, well, it sort of did. I banged it a bit hard, but one-handed. I think it all went well. Yes, it did. Ah, no shell. We like that. Okay. And all I'm going to do is just mix the egg in. I'm not going to put oil. I'm not going to put all the other things that normally they tell you to put in cake, because I have found that this works beautifully. So just, it's a little bit powdery to start with, but then it starts to mix together. And once it does, then you can just whip it up. Like this. This is a little thick. I'm going to add a little water. I've put in maybe a tablespoon of water, and then just slowly mix that in. Otherwise, you will have it all over the place. Okay, and once it starts to get mixed in, you can just go back to okay. And now what I'm going to do is grab hold of the apple. Some cinnamon, I think, would be good. Cinnamon's good, healthy stuff to have in your system. Okay, so I'll just mix that up a little bit. The apple is soft, but not totally done, which is good. And now I'm just going to pour half of this . Anybody getting hungry yet? I'm happy. Which is a great idea, Jody. Yes, Jody's saying she has craisins. Another great idea. Cranberries are a lovely, really good for your kidneys, right, Jody? Okay. So now I'm going to put these back for 2 minutes in the microwave. I know. I love to treat. I'm just going to put my eggs away. I think the asparagus is just about done. So what we're going to do is make a plan. Because I don't want the asparagus to dry out. Okay. That was hot. Yeah, this asparagus looks like it's fine. And I'm just going to put some butter on top of it. Oh. Needs another minute. What do I need? Some butter for there. And then what will happen is when I'm ready to eat it, I will just put it in the microwave for another minute and it'll be perfect with hot butter. So that's all that I've done, just like this. I'm going to put this over it. And then when I'm ready to serve this evening, if I feel like I probably have this as an entree. Yum. And out of interest, let's see how far the pork has gone. Because I think it shouldn't take too much. So for pork to be medium well, it needs to go to 165 Fahrenheit, which would be 74 centigrade. And at the moment, it's already at 145. As I thought, it's not going to take a whole lot more. So we're just going to put that back up there. And I think it might be easier not to have this in there now that we've got this. just going to transfer that to another container. Oh, no, so that's good. Oops. And that's good. What fell? I heard something. Oh, just a knife. So we're now at 141. It shouldn't take very much longer to bring that up to the right temperature. That's not hot. That's good. A little bit more. Too bad. And I've got some nice juices in here already. This is from the pork. So I'm going to add a little bit of, this is bisto, but however you like to make your gravy. I'm just going to throw a bit in there. We've got some water in there. Just mix that up. And there we've got just a nice, easy gravy to go over something. I have a container here. Yes, I do. No, still another minute. So what I'm checking for is the cake topping that I've put in there. I'm just doing it a minute. It did 2 minutes to start with, then 1 more minute, then 1 more minute. What I'm looking for is for the top of it to be dull, not shiny. And I also find that when it's done, the sponge will actually pull away from the sides. So that's the other thing I'm looking for. Jody's saying such a handy thermometer. I want to tell you something, Jody. This I use all the time for everything. I've even taken my own temperature with it one day when I was wondering whether I was running a temperature or not. So, yeah, really wonderful. I love it. And it is so versatile because in a minute you're going to see I'll even test the bread with it. And it sort of makes life so much easier on so many different levels for me. Yeah, still can do it a little bit more, I think. Wow. That's interesting. So the devil food cake takes longer than a regular white cake. That's good. I'm in no hurry. What about you? Now I set my alarm on my watch and it's now going off. And the pork is just about done. And I thought it would take about 20 minutes. It's up to 143. And I'm going to turn this up a bit now because I no longer have the asparagus in there. So I'm going to turn it up to 400 and just let it do the last bit, crisp it up a little bit. Yum, yum. and that will be good. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's beginning to pull away from the edge of the container. Can you see that? It's hot, by the way. And that means that the actual inside is done. Now, if I really want you to be double sure, I won't go right to the bottom because I know I've got apple at the bottom. So, yep, that's good. All right. So that's going to be so tasty. How many of you know how much I want to try that, don't you? So there's dessert. One for tonight, one for tomorrow. Maybe two for tonight. Just want to double check that that is done. Yep, that's good. All right, so now we'll put this in. I'm getting, what is it about doing this? I get really hungry cooking. You're probably not surprised. All right, let me get on with the rest of the broadcast. I think I'm far enough ahead of the game that I can probably do that. How much time have we got? Not a lot. Okay, let me start anyway. First of all, I wanted to just let you know that it's been a very interesting 24 hours for me. As some of you know, those of you who were at the broadcast at lunchtime, yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the fire in my house. And you can probably imagine that it had all sorts of emotions tied to it for me. And so the broadcast we did at lunchtime was about the obviously what I've learned from it, but also what I gained from it. And some of the things I gained were surprising to me because one of the things that I talked about at lunchtime was how much patience I gained from going through that year. And for any of you that have been through a major trauma of any sort, you probably will relate to that. Sharon, Sharon's saying it's hard to believe that it's been a year. I agree. But, on the other side, it feels like 5 years. I talked about all the documentation, all the decisions that had to be made, all the, the things that I went through that I didn't want to. And so, it was a real learning lesson for me this year. And I feel I've gained a lot. I actually had a wonderful chat with Benji between the two broadcasts, and we were talking to one another. And that was the first question that he asked me, which is, other than the shock of it all and the stress of it all, did I feel I had a better house now than I had before? And I said, absolutely. I know that all the electrical is safe. I know all the electrical is up to code, and it wasn't a year ago. Why do I know that? Because when they pulled it all apart, they found bits that were not up to code. And so, you look at it and you go, there's safety in that. But, there were a lot of lessons that I learned. And I also, wanted to give credit to Jeannie, who lost her whole house and has just moved back. And I was saying, she's moved into new bathrooms, new kitchen, new everything, because her whole house was rebuilt, not just part of it. So sometimes these negative things end up with some pluses to them. I was thinking, Sharon, for all that you feared about the thing that you did this week, it's amazing how, we were saying, if you remember a couple of weeks back, that 90% of what we fear doesn't actually come about. And so for you to go through all of that and find out that you are, nothing surprising was added to that list, I think that is, to me anyway, I was so grateful for that. Isabel saying the way that you dealt with it was amazing. I talked about that at lunchtime today, Isabel, because I think that I didn't have a lot of, I did have choices, didn't I? I could have freaked out over everything. I was really proud of the way I handled the bad stuff, with the contractors were pretty good. But, I was saying at lunchtime that I was really glad that I, stayed fair and friendly, even to the extent where yesterday I was still sending an email because I wasn't quite sure if they should be paying for something that they said they would pay for. You know me. So I wrote and said, hey, could you just double check whether that is something that you guys need to pay for or whether that's something I need to pay for, because I upgraded the lighting for my bathroom and for the craft room. And they laughed at me. And I said, because I want to be fair. They laughed at me and said, you have been so fair. It is almost unbelievable. All right, so the pork is done. So let's just get this organized. I have to think about this because this is very hot. So I need to be careful where I put it and what's underneath it. Okay, that's good. And do not put the handle down. Now I want to check the other, the one we put in the cloche, to see if that is done. I'm going to take out the vegetables now. That's pretty warm. I want to see if it's done. So I'm just going to clean off the probe here. Get it cooled down a bit. Then okay, and now I'm going to check whether the pork in the cloche is done or not. So that's about 136 at the moment. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take no, I don't have to take that out. That can stay there. Put that back on top. So this is the blueberry. There we go. Huh. So exciting. I don't think that's going to take very long to come up to the right temperature. Oh, we still need that. So I'm going to put a lid on this pork. Well, I would if it were in the right place. That's exciting. Where did that go? Make a plan. I have no idea where that went, but it's here somewhere. All right, so this is now the second lot of pork. And this was the one, that's hot. This is the one that we did with the peanut butter powder. So that could cool. These are our vegetables for tonight. And this will be the sauce that will go over tomorrow. That's that one. I will probably add some peanut butter to this when I do that. But what I'm trying to do is do as much of the pre-prepping as I can. All right, so that is all ready. Oh, that's good. Surprisingly good. All right, I need no idea what I did with the top, so we'll find another one. Stick that on top. And so this is ready for tomorrow, or the next time I want to have pork. And that goes with this. And let's see how those potatoes are doing. That would be my next question. Yeah, they've got a while to go. All right. So we'll just carry on with the broadcast and let this lot do it. Get to the next page. Because we know it's going to tell me. All right, so I gave you an update on Sharon. Jody is on the mend. She's been sick all week and still is. She's had some sort of bug. And it's so funny because, you know, God forbid we might say it's the flu. Have you noticed that nobody wants to have the flu anymore? And now it's just a bug. Because, you know, flu now has a different connotation for us all. But she's saying that Tylenol's keeping the elevated temperature under control. She's managing to keep it sort of at 99. How is it this evening, Jody? I know you were saying, I think it dropped down to about 99.6 or something. So that was awesome. And please keep Jan, for those of you who know Jan, please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She lost her brother this week. Very sad. Erin has had her biopsy and she will get the results this week. I haven't had an update from Bernice yet. And I don't know of any other birthdays. I know Charlotte's was on the 23rd. And I know Andrea in Berlin is on the 30th. That's the day that my mommy has a birthday in heaven. And so that is the update from that side. I have some did you know? And general things here. What I want to let you know is I did under my seasonal tasks this week. I try to do one seasonal task every week. And this week's seasonal task was to clean out my spice drawer. And as I said, what I did was I took half full containers and then put them into smaller containers. And I have now put some labels on them, which I hadn't done at lunchtime. So have a go at your spice drawer or whatever you have, if you have a spice cupboard. Because, you know, it's like a good idea to go through that. And you know, just decide what you really want to keep. What is the oldest spice that you've got in your drawer or cupboard? I'm a bit horrified. I think I've had some of mine for nearly as long as I've lived. But isn't that the joy of spices, right? They last a long time. How many of you know that as we go into fall, and we are into fall now, how many of you are bringing plants into your house? to clean the air. Have any of you done that yet? It's a really good idea during fall and winter to bring in house plants or any sort of plants. I like to have my indoor vegetable garden going because, can I show the fun carpet again? Okay, yes, if you insist. Anyway, I like to grow things inside so that the air gets cleaned. It's like it's a cheap way of cleaning the air. Iz saw this earlier on, and I will see if I can do this without causing a problem. So I've got this carpet on top of the carpet. And the reason I got it is because I don't want Amazon delivering things to me and I don't know they've been. All right, in the winter. And what I did is I bought what they call a pressure mat. So when I stand on it, can you hear that? It's got a very long lead on it, so I can bring that lead inside so that when somebody stands on that outside, it's going to make that noise. And I'm going to go, what's that noise? Oh, somebody is on my carpet, which means either somebody's at my door, because for some reason people are not ringing the doorbell, either that, or I know that maybe there's been a delivery that I didn't know about. So that to me was a really good addition to my life. Oh, we're up to 155. That's good. It looks good, people. That's the one I'm having this evening, right? I hope. And now the sauce that we made is reducing as well. Oh, that's going to be so good. So if you notice, I am now going down the layers in the halogen because I put the thing that was going to take the longest to cook at the bottom. So this now is nearly done. Let me just carry on until it beeps at me. So make sure you have plants growing. The next thing, did you know, I didn't know this, but did you know that creepy crawlies do not like aluminum foil? Did you know that? So if you think that you could have, visitors, creepy crawly ones, spiders and goodness knows what else coming into your cupboards during the winter months to get warm, just put aluminum foil at the bottom. I didn't know that. And let me read you what I read. Aluminum foil, obviously reflects the light, which drives away all creepy crawly creatures. By lining your cabinets with aluminum foil, you're creating an environment where no insect wants to live. You'll keep your kitchen safe from scavenging critters, and you'll keep your cabinets tidy and dust-free. I didn't know that, did you? I do now. So I'm going to be lining my lower cupboards with aluminum foil for the winter. So that was a very interesting thing. It'll be your new design, yeah, exactly. All right, here's what else I found. Now, this one I thought was so clever. Are any of you still camping? Or are any of you thinking of traveling? Because when I read this, I went, why didn't I ever think of this? And what they're saying is, if you are traveling, really good idea to pack your salad spinner. You're going, what? And the reason is, not your new one. Your older one, so you can buy a new one for fresh. But it is the perfect mini clothes dryer. We want an experiment. Shall we try it? Hang on a second. That's about to be done. We'll try it later. Let's just do this first. Okay, there we go. We'll get back to that. I know, I'm coming. Just be patient. Can't rush when you've got a halogen going. Okay, that's done. Take the probe out. Clean it. That's good. So exciting. And how do I get that out without? I think we'll take this off first. Let that cool, and that makes it easier for me to grab hold of the cloche, which is going to be hot. We'll check the potatoes. Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I think I'll turn those over before I just give them another going over. Oh, got one of those things. Sorry about this, I'll be right with you. Potatoes are actually done, but I want to just crisp those up a bit. Yum. So that's enough potato to last me all week. What I will do is have, one or two pieces with each time I have the pork. Okay, here we go. And let me show you this. This requires coordination, people. Do that. Onions are nicely done. And I get you just cut into that for you. Look at that. Now that is still succulent, cooked to perfection, actually. What can I say? I'm gonna have to blow on it though, because it's gonna be hot. Okay, so as I thought, it is absolutely, it is really moist, which I'm glad about, and that's because I cooked it in the cloche. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the juices that ran off, along with the blueberries and everything, and just make a gravy out of that. We didn't do anything fancy over the top of this. I want to tell you, I can really taste a lot of different tastes in this. So we must have put did we put some balsamic vinegar in here? I think we must have done, because I can taste that richness. And I can also taste the sweetness of the blueberries. You know what else? You remember we threw in that blueberry jelly that we made. No wonder it tastes good, people. I don't know about you, but I like my onions a little crispy. Perfect. I'm sorry I've got to wait for that. And sweet. Whoa. Okay, so the onions absorb the sweetness of the jelly. Woo. That's like a blast from the past. I've now got sweet onions, really. Okay, that's good. Nothing wrong with that at all. I will look forward to eating that. All right, so just want to put a cloth over that. It's so clever. Okay, and now I'm going to fire up the heat a bit on potatoes, because I like crispy roast potatoes. What about you? So exciting. Right, what can I talk about while that's doing? Okay, so oh yes, we were going to do the experiment. Right, so this is my cloth. I'm going to make it wet. And I've sort of squeezed out most of the liquid. But here's what they said. If you're camping or you're traveling, wash your stuff, small stuff, and put it in a salad spinner. I don't know if this is going to work, people, but they said it does. Wow. And it took, don't know if you can see, took that much water out. So clever. Would never have thought of that. And I didn't really do it very hard either. Yes, it works. And you're going, that's extra weight, but it's not very much if you think about it. The weight of the salad spinner is not very much weight, and you can pack, clothes into it. So very ingenious. Why did I never think of that one? I didn't. All right, so another seasonal thing. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but have you all cleaned your toilet tanks? And if not, easy way to clean them is just to take the lid off and throw about a cup of vinegar in there. I keep an old brush, and I just, clean around it. You know what that is, right? I don't have to state the obvious. And I find it works really, really well. I've got an old brush from my sink that I use for that. So I really recommend, we're very fastidious about cleaning our toilets, but think about the grunge that is in your toilet tank. And it's quite horrifying if you haven't done it ever. Forgive yourself and do the best you can, and maybe do it every month for a few months until you get it clean. And then you will just know that every season, just throw in a cup of vinegar overnight, and it will take most of the crud off for you. Very easy to do. I, as you know, I have a mesh bag in my toilet tanks with a bar of Irish Spring in it. And that, cleans my toilet every time I flush. You need it in a fine mesh bag, though, because otherwise the toilet bar, the bar of soap will get into the wrong place in your tank. Believe me, I did that by accident once. I couldn't understand why my toilet kept running and running and running, and then I realized what had happened. But I found that I don't have to clean my toilet nearly as much as I used to since I've been doing that. So that's something. Now, here's another thing that I thought some of you may already do that. What I read was that if you are cleaning your bathroom faucets, it's not a bad idea to take a paper towel and just spray a little spray of Pam onto the paper towel and then wipe your faucets with that. Not too much, but just enough to coat it, and then rub it dry if you like. What it will do is it will stop all the fingerprints and stuff like that. It gets in there and sort of protects, gives a barrier for you, so your faucet won't get as dirty as often. How many of you going, I think I might try that one? Now, this one I haven't tried, but I'm going to. For those of you who are baking, and I'm certain a lot of us will be baking ready for Christmas. I just realized I don't have, hang on a second, people. I want to turn those over. They're looking good. Oh, yeah. This is called Sal's cheat way of making roast potatoes. All right. I'm hungry now. Anyway, I haven't tried this. Baking tins. I don't know how do you clean your baking tins? Anybody got any, bright, let me not presume you don't know a great way. Let me hear what your ways are. I know that a couple of you are bakers. So how do you clean your baking trays? I, of course, cheat. So I I put silicone on my baking trays so I don't have to worry about them, or one of these barbecue mats, So that way is the cheat way of doing it. Yeah. So Jody uses a Silpat. You're right. It's the same sort of thing. How did we live without these inventions? Is what I'm wondering. But for those of you who don't have, by the way, in case you think this is really expensive, I picked this up, I think, for $1 at the dollar store, maybe $2 maximum. And as you can see, it's had quite a life already. And it's really good quality. It's a Betty Crocker one. And I really recommend it. I think I paid $2 for 2 of these. So not expensive things to get. Saves an awful lot of hard work when it comes to cleanup. But what I heard was, and I haven't done it, is if you take some dish soap and put it in, hang on. Just put it in an ice cube tray, freeze it, and then when you want to clean your baking trays, take it out of the freezer and then use that. Apparently, it works like a charm. I haven't done it, but that's what I was reading. So it'd be worth trying, I would think. Another hack, for those of you with a lot of stainless steel, you're lucky enough to have stainless steel. I have it over there and other places. I learned this last year, but I thought I'd repeat it, which is when you're trying to clean your stainless steel and you want to cheat, it's really good for your sinks as well. Use a flour mixture. Don't know why it works, but it does. Right? Literally just a paste of flour and let it dry and then rub it off, and you will be amazed how beautiful your stainless steel looks. I wanted to know, I found that I had a can of meat in my pantry and it was past its best by date. Anybody getting worried, that you stocked up when the pandemic, this time last year, you remember we stocked up? And I did a bit of research. And just in case it happens to any of you, I found out that there's actually no health risk in consuming canned goods way past their expiry date, years past their expiry date, as long as the cans are in good condition. Did you know that? Canning is a great way of preserving food. So you don't have to be overly worried about its expiry date. It's more about they need to get it off the shelves, not that it needs to be eaten. So I thought you might like to know that. How many of you are still using the old-fashioned light bulbs? Because if you want to save a lot of money this winter, invest maybe one a month, buy an LED light or buy a whirligig one. All right, save you a lot of money. Now, the LED lights are a little bit confusing because you don't replace the batteries. I found out that my bathroom lights, I cannot replace the battery. I mean, the batteries. I cannot replace the light bulbs. When they're done, they're done. But apparently that'll be 50,000 hours away. Probably I want a different bulb, different light fixture anyway by that time, if I'm still alive. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, they're looking pretty crispy now, people. I'm happy. All right, next stage. Hold on, people. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are crispy. They're crispy as they hit the plate. Oh yeah. Roast potatoes. Oh, sorry. And so you can hear that they are crispy. So I'm going to enjoy those. I will crisp them up. I will crisp them up again just before I serve them. And now the question is, how's the bread doing, people? I wonder. Very good experiment, this one. The bread went in an hour and a half ago, but at a lower temperature than normal, so it could be ruined by now. But maybe not. Okay, what's the temperature? All right, so that's got a long way still to go. Bread, the internal temperature needs to be about 200. And this is, yeah, that's pork. We don't want pork. This is only at 175, so we're going to put that back in. No, wait, Sal. Why don't we do it the clever way? We will make this program, and we will increase this to 200. Oh, wait, that. Increase this to 200. Come on. We'll do 210. Make sure it's done. We're going to stick the probe into the bread. Oh, it's such fun, isn't it? And you realize that I've basically cooked 2 complete meals, or maybe more, because I probably won't eat all of the pork that I cooked. And I've still got half the pork left to cook tomorrow, which will be fun. All right, where was I? So replace your light bulbs with LEDs whenever you can, because it'll save you a lot in the winter, all right? The other thing is, you probably already do this. Close off any rooms that you don't need to be warm in the winter. In other words, if you've got a spare bedroom and you only walk into it maybe once or twice a week, close the vent and close the door. The other thing is, what you're doing then is you're not making the furnace work extra hard to warm up that room. And if you keep the door closed, then that cold air is not, traveling into the rest of the house. So be aware of that. Now, I found this really. How many of you wear glasses? This next hack, I read this and I went, why didn't I know about that when I was in my 20s? It would have been very useful. And if you ever had a pair of glasses where the little screw does not stay quite as strongly as it should. Now, what it suggested, I would never have thought of this, is next time it's loose, take it out, get some clear nail polish, paint it, the screw section of it, and then screw it back in. And when the nail polish dries, it will then basically hold it. Now, if you've got, super glue, that also will work, but you'll never be able to get the screw out. Whereas if you do it with nail polish, it will be enough to hold it tight. But if you needed to undo it again, you can. I thought that was quite clever. What about you? And this one I liked. This was, how many of you got hair going down your drains? Now, I did tell you that the one thing I found that works really well for my shower is to cut a little bit of that rubber matting that you put inside there with the holes in it, that you put inside your cupboards, and put that over your shower drain. I've got unusually large holes in my shower drain. My earrings would go through there. If I dropped my earring, it would go through. That's how big the holes are. So I know that an awful lot of hair is going down there. I didn't want that. So I just made this little round bit to go over the top. And I'm amazed at how much it actually collects. However, the next thing that I read was, if you have a drain and you want to get rid of any hair that is in there, a zip tie works really well. Now, do we all know what a zip tie is? Hang on a second. This is a broken one, but it'll give you the idea. It's one of these things. I walked on the mat. You can have so much fun with it. Anyway, it's one of these things, that you can attach things. One of these, because the one side of it has serrated bits in it, it's a perfect thing if you've got a bigger one. This one is probably a little small, but a bigger one, put it down there, it will catch the hair and bring it back up. Thought that was clever. Bread's doing nicely, people. Right. This is such fun. It worked. It worked. I was able to, intellectually construct it in such a way that I could deconstruct it in the right order. And it actually worked perfectly. Nobody more surprised than I am. So what I did is I made 2 buns. Which I want to eat now. I'm bad, aren't I? I wonder why I can't lose weight. This would be why. So I find that, you remember we made the, I lie. During the week, I actually made 1 pack of meat, ground beef. And it's funny the number of different ways I used it. Right? I used it in so many different ways. Jody, I really want to thank you for the spaghetti squash thing. I did that just to humor you, to be honest. But I found, what I did was make spaghetti squash, and half the squash I put down and then put ground beef with vegetables and everything, because I do that. And, I cook it all up with lots of vegetables in it. And I put that over the top and then mixed it all up like a spaghetti bolognese. And I want to tell you something, Jody. I went back for seconds the next day. It surprised me how tasty it was. And I did put some nutmeg in the spaghetti squash and some butter. But it really did surprise me how tasty it was. And Jody's saying, you are losing weight. Yes, I am. I must admit, I'm quite happy that I am. So that actually is a major shift for me. I didn't have pasta. I put the ground beef on top of spaghetti squash and enjoyed it. I think that is the trick, right? That it wasn't horrible at all. Does that mean I will never have proper spaghetti bolognese? Of course not. I will have it. But now I know that, if spaghetti squash is in season, it's a really good alternative. And that's the good news of it. Come on, bread. It's so close. And I don't want it to burn. It's getting close to burning now, so I think I'm going to say that's enough. Because we don't want to burn it. We just want it to be done. Here we go. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry, everybody. There we go. 2 loaves of bread, or 2 buns. And basically what I will do with these is to cut them across this way in half. And that will be, literally, that will last me for about 4 days. Just like that. Yeah, I did it. So I'm going to let those cool. And there we go. Hopefully you found something of value in what we did today. And my question is, what did you not know? That you're going, hey, that's a good hack. I'm going to try that. Part of me really wants to eat bread. I don't know why. I think I love the smell of the crust of bread, right? So awesome. But I know that it's not a good idea to cut it immediately. I need it to cool down. It's always the most difficult time for me. I am getting hungry, so I'm going to go and eat now. And I'm hoping that you enjoyed this. And I'm also hoping that you will continue to send me any questions that you might have. We had a great question at lunchtime today from a viewer who, for example, had gone to go and say goodbye to somebody who was dying, and it ended up not a good experience. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it was a negative experience. And they were asking me, how do you deal with it? And so I gave some thought to that, and hopefully they will find some help. And if any of you do have any questions like that, please pass them on to me so that I can share them. So I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you will think of me as I eat my way through all of these. There's enough, quite honestly, there's enough meat, even with the 2 bits that I haven't cooked yet, but I will put them in to cook now. I have enough meat probably for the week. And so what I will do is I will package up some of the meat and put it in my freezer for different times when I suddenly feel like eating some pork. What I do find with these containers, though, is that they don't seal properly. So when I use them and put things in the freezer, I then cover it with a saran wrap or a press and seal to make sure that they are properly sealed. Or the other thing I do, quite honestly, is I'll put them in a baggie and then put it in there, knowing that that is, the right portion that I need. You will notice that I didn't do too many vegetables. I just did the vegetables for tonight. And the reason is what I do is when I freeze this, I will decide, what vegetables do I want? And I will just, add some vegetables to it, frozen already. So, or I will just add the frozen vegetables, when I'm ready to eat it. So that's how I do it. There's so many things I want to eat right now, including the apple sponge cake. Yep. All right. So, everybody, hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you again on Sunday, where we'll talk about coping with stress. And in the meantime, thank you all for being here and have a wonderful weekend. This is DearMamaSal saying, see you soon. And if I can find my, what did you do? There it is. Couldn't find my mouse. Very difficult to sign off without a mouse. This is DearMamaSal saying, bye bye for now.